This is by Charlotte Morabito. And not that I don't think I'm pronouncing the names correctly, but like it's names I've never seen before. Charlotte Morabito. Morabito. All right, cool. Yeah, people living paycheck to paycheck, even though their income increases, right? Lifestyle inflation. I think people hold these benchmarks in their mind of if I reach this position or I get this promotion, or look at all these ors, or I make it to this age, or then I can live this life, or then I deserve to have these things. So that's Sabrina Romanoff, goodness gracious, all these ors, a clinical psychologist who works with clients struggling with financial stress. Then they kind of go off a little crazy or go a little wild on it. And then it becomes like a trade-off, like they only can enjoy their present happiness and they're not able to save or plan for the future. Again, and that's people's main issues. They don't have delay gratification. It's not that most people don't have to sacrifice but that long if when you recognize the issue, then you realize you make the change. People recognize they're struggling financially or they know it's about to happen, i.e. you're in college, you got all the student loan debt, and let's say you don't want to stop taking it out, but you take it out. And then you don't want to aggressively pay it off once you get out of college. Like you just want to keep doing deferment and things of that nature. You don't actually want to attack the problem. Then you have this big issue. Just let this water sit. Now you got mold. Just clean it up. Even if it's a lot, just clean it up. You're better off cleaning it up so it doesn't turn into mold than just waiting. Now you got a mold issue. But spending more may not be as simple as people wanting to indulge. Many Americans simply don't have enough money to make ends meet because their incomes have not been keeping up with the rise in cost of living. So we're going to talk about inflation here, I guess. That's true. And here's the one thing with inflation. Most things that we buy don't inflate from a necessity standpoint, meaning gas goes up and down, but like where gas is what it is where you live. There's different prices across the whole country, but gas has gone down, right? The most I remember paying for gas was $4.24. This is when I'm at Acura TSX, and I was in college, right? This is probably 2013-ish time frame, and I had to buy premium for that car. I've yet to see gas get to $4. It might have when it was high last year. Was that 2020 in 2022? It might have got up near there for premium because I buy regular now, but I have not seen gas be that high. Now, food again continues to grow up, but look, if you want farmers to make more money, then they got to pass that cost off to you. That's how the businesses work out here. But a lot of times, inflation isn't to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, the prices, my income is not keeping up with the wages. No, you won't pay down your debt. You won't give yourself that breathing room. You won't make any sacrifices where you can actually put yourself in a better position. Because as I say all the time on here, I don't care what anyone says, most people, if they just look at how much their necessities and their debt payments are, they have enough money, even if they're taking their 401k match, whether you want to, be someone who invests or not invest, right, when you're paying off your debt. Most people, if you look at their necessities and their debt payments, they're not living paycheck to paycheck as long as they're not in a poverty situation. Obviously, we're not talking about people in poverty. I'm talking about living check to check. People in poverty do not have enough money. Hence poverty. But here we're talking about high income earners. No. If you're a high income earner, I mean, you make over 6 figures, and after you make your necessities and your debt payments and you were still living check to check, reach out to me so I can help you. But it's like the chances of that are so low. Usually when people add the rest of their budget in, and it's not even investments, it's their lifestyle, eating out, things of that nature, that's when they get to the point to where they see they're living paycheck to paycheck. Ma'am, sir, you might not be able to afford how much you're spending on your hair or buying all these shoes or how much you're spending on the game, right? Now you got these in-app purchases, all that type of stuff. You don't make enough money for that, or you do, but you got to pay off your debt first. If you just want to keep spending how much money you're spending, just pay off your debt, take a year, 2 years, whatever it is. And then if you want to keep that same budget, but now you can take your debt payments and put them towards your lifestyle, that's what you want to do. I recommend you do investments before you do your lifestyle. But hey, if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. But with payments and how much your lifestyle is, you don't make enough money for that. Hence the credit card debt. We talk about in this article or this episode and the last episode with the Forbes article where people are using credit cards, even buy now, pay later to sustain their lifestyle. All right. The idea that people save and they just hit a point where they feel like they deserve to spend more. I fully disagree with that, says Sabrina Allen, a budgeting coach who offers insights. Okay. More than 100,000 TikTok followers, how to become conscious about money. When most people how many people has she helped though? Anyways, I'm not saying she hasn't helped anybody, but when most people don't have $1,000 in the bank, Dave Ramsey, baby step 1, like anytime people say something that's a baby step or Dave Ramsey principle, I'm just going to call it out because everyone on the internet always talks about they disagree with him. If people, say what he says. Like most people cannot handle a tire blown out or they're going to put it on a credit card. Well, one tire should not be costing $1,000. I mean, your tires cost $4,000, but I get what she's saying here. Alan breaks down lifestyle inflation in 2 buckets. One is that general idea of what lifestyle inflation is, which is right, buying a fancy car and buying nice things along with those lines, which is lifestyle inflation. But then the maintenance is what people get caught up on, which is what you just spoke about when it comes to this blown out tire. Second bucket, she said, is more about everyday things that if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're going without. These may be necessary goods or services, such as the dentist or getting the car's oil changed regularly. You don't go to the dentist or get your car's oil changed regularly on a day-to-day basis. What are we talking about? First off, is this article not about high earners? I don't know that Miss Allen or Mrs. Allen here is speaking about high earners, but high earners, y'all should be having that insurance. So your insurance be paying for the dentist, necessary goods and services. You should be getting your oil change, right? Y'all take care of maintenance, and that's the part. This is why we say don't go to Starbucks, because your Starbucks adds up. It adds up. That's why a lot of people say, no, we're not saying to never go to Starbucks. No, if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you can't go to Starbucks at all, because then you're telling me how you're not doing you're not doing the proper maintenance of things, and then when you don't do proper maintenance, it costs you way more money. Talking about you're not going to the dentist, man. What? You know how important good gum and teeth health is to your life? Insanity. And that's what I talk about, the necessities part. That's why I put insurance in there for the financial house when we say insurance, but it's overall maintenance. That's the roof. The insurance is the 5th thing that people need to take care of. My goodness. There was a time in my life. Is this who I think it is? Let me see. Because I remember I saw somebody like this. It was a white person. I know it's not who I think it is. Like, I'm thinking about, it's a black lady. No, it's not who I think it is. It was a black lady, but no. Anyways, there was a time in my life when an oil change was just like not even a priority. How? And that's like that's what you learn in like high school when you get your first car. You gotta get your oil changed. I'm trying to keep tires on my car. Tires last longer than oil changes. Tires last you years. And by the way, if you putting so much tread on your tires, maybe never mind. You might need to decrease how much you're traveling for non-necessities. I'm trying to keep it running. I'm trying to keep the registration paid. I'm not concerned about an oil change. What? Oil changes, unless you got electric, oil changes are highly important to your vehicle. Living check to check makes people vulnerable to accumulating high interest credit card debt. True. Half of them, almost half, 46%, said they held a balance on a credit card because of an emergency expense, 2022. And this is the thing, right? Car maintenance is not emergency. Now, a medical bill can be considered emergency, but car maintenance is not an emergency. You get in an accident, I wouldn't consider it an emergency, but it's unexpected. You don't expect to get into that car accident, right? Even the longer you go without one, the more likely you're going to get in one. But don't want people out here crashing the car. Have an emergency fund to fall back on with roughly 3 months of expenses. Okay, cool. The goal here is to find balance. Romanoff said it's about enjoying your life, but not being so focused in a future that hasn't come yet, or too focused on the present. Too much focus on the present. The idea is having your cake and eating it too. You can have bites of your cake right now and then save the cake for later. All right, this is the part that always gets me though, y'all. When we start, I mean, they talking about they wasn't worried about the oil change. They trying to get the registration paid and keep tires on it. And this is when they say, I don't care, place of privilege, whatever y'all want to talk about. I really don't care. These are the conversations that I do my best to have on here. But when I get with my clients, what I talk about is, and even when I talk to Jordan, where you got to drill down on stuff and be clear and concise on how much money stuff costs and what you need to maintain. The maintenance part is usually what gets people. A lot of people can quote unquote afford the debt payment, whatever it is, but it's the maintenance that pops up for your house, for your body. I talk about dental, right? And then for your vehicle, those 3 things, you as in yourself, where you live at, and then your vehicle, your transportation, those 3 main things, and they have maintenance. Those are the things that people neglect to take care of. Now, when it comes to your body, obviously, you can get some type of disease that's completely out of control. That's different. But as far as the maintenance things, you go get your teeth cleaned, go to the dentist, twice a year. All that type of stuff should be paid through your employer. And we're talking about high income earners here. All right. So we're talking about high income earners here. So y'all got that insurance. I would hope y'all got that insurance making over 6 figures. My goodness. And I talk about low income earners here. But for these high income earners saying, what you mean you didn't do the oil change, but you're trying to keep the tires on your car, you're trying to get the registration paid. It's like you got to make sure the vehicle is operational. Now, yes, you got to do your registration, right? Because you got to do that from a legal standpoint. You got to pay your insurance again. But when you're talking about, again, What did you spend? Because oil changes do not cost that much money. They do not cost that much. Tires do not cost that much as far as how often you have to get them. Oil changes you get a couple a year. Depending on, you might get more depending on how often you drive, but you're going to get at least 2 oil changes a year. Tires, your tires should be lasting you for tens of thousands of miles. Now, if you're someone that drives a lot, you have to incorporate that into your life. See, one of the reasons I tell people, I used to say, wake up, go to work, come home, is you can't afford the wear and tear that, Uber and Lyft is more popular now. But before, when I was saying this, most people can't afford the wear and tear that comes on that their vehicle goes through with how much they go out. That's your actual issue. I'm not telling you actually can't afford to go out as far as going to the bar, the club, whatever it is, which you probably can. But you can afford the maintenance that comes along with your vehicle, because now your vehicle maintenance is due sooner because you're driving more often. And a lot of people probably don't know this, but when you're in stop and go traffic, that is more wear and tear on your car than when you're driving a long distance, let's say at 60 miles an hour, whatever it is, and not in stop and go traffic. So you're doing a city type of drive and you waking up, driving 5 minutes here, go get some Chipotle or something like that. Now we got DoorDash and stuff. Things change. But all that little stop and go, starting your car, things like that, that's more wear and tear on your vehicle. The mileage might be less, but you're causing your maintenance to be due even sooner, which means you need to have more money ahead of time, in the sense of you might need an oil change in 6 months if you just essentially do what I'm saying. But now let's say you got to get your oil change every 3 months, but it's still the same price. Let's just call it, $100. So now you need $400, right, a year, because you can get 4 oil changes this year now. But now you need $100 every 3 months instead of $100 every 6 months. All right, let's call it 120 so the math's easy. So now you need $40 every month versus only needing $20 every month. And that's the hidden cost that a lot of people can't see in their lifestyle inflation, or how they're just operating on a day-to-day basis with their finances. Those hidden costs is where you truly need to sit down with somebody, not me, financial coach, a fiduciary financial advisor, whatever it is. And so they can actually show you how much money your life is costing you, but you're not actually swiping. It's not an actual transaction in and of itself. All right. That's it, y'all. Locked and loaded. End of the episode. Oh, again, let me get my quote back. Again, here's why even Americans making more than 100,000 live paycheck to paycheck. Again, by Charlotte Morabito on CNBC. And again, the first article, shout out to Kristen Risupero, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Many high earners are living paycheck to paycheck. How to break the cycle. That's on financialfitnesscoaching.com. Again, no sponsor. All right, y'all. Again, make sure that like button, share and subscribe. Shout out to the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. Again, y'all got to get on a budget, necessities, debt payments, investments, lifestyle. You got to take care of your needs and obviously your debt payments first. The financial house. I haven't said it in a long time. Do I remember? You got to take care of food, right? Transportation, clothing. What's the fourth one? I can't remember what the fourth one is. Oh, utilities. There we go. Then you got to, I think that's part of my housing though. I might be messing up. I'm messing up my own thing. But then we got the roof for the roof, the house. That's your insurance to cover you, your umbrella to protect you from outside things. As when we're talking about, that's the maintenance. When I say insurance there, any of that type of stuff where you got to make sure you're spending money to take care of yourself. And you make sure you have money set aside so you go see your PCP. It doesn't cost that much to go to the doctor. Again, high income earners here that we're talking about. I think it cost me $25 to go see my PCP once a year. All I gotta do is go once a year. And for those of you high income earners, and in this case, family of 3 is saying you make at least $150,000. And so you got family health care. Well, you got a family. What you thought adding another human wasn't going to increase your expenses? All right. Then your vehicle maintenance and your house maintenance. Your vehicle maintenance is well known. All right. You can just Google it when you think, when you're for your particular car, when these particular large, your transmission fluid, et cetera, all that type of stuff change, how often your brakes should be getting done. One of the benefits of going through oil change, now they do a multi-point inspection. That's the one thing, when you don't get your oil change, usually now they just bake it into the cost. They assess everything, your battery, your brakes, all this type of stuff. And they can let you know when stuff is due or when it might be due. Again, trust and maintenance people. That's neither here nor there right now. But the benefits of usually doing an oil change is that they'll let you know when some stuff is coming up so you can better prepare for it. So not only are you not going to your oil change, same thing as, again, going to the doctor. Your doctor, you get your blood work done. They're like, oh yeah, you need to, this is too high. You need to change this in your diet or start exercising more, things like that. All right. That's the reason you don't neglect those things. And that's in the financial house, that insurance, that maintenance part of taking care of not just yourself, but the things that you need to maintain, mainly being your house and your vehicle. All right. That's it, y'all. Locked and loaded. End of the episode. Again, my information, as well as my coach Jordan information, can be found in the description. And I'm going to pin a comment one day with our information, so y'all ain't got to scroll the description. All right. That's it, y'all. Remember to save more and say less. Keep making better your best. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.